Hey everyone, here I'm pulling cards for today, January 14th, Sunday. Alright, new week. The energy today is definitely full of new beginnings. So ultimately, when it comes down to it, if you feel as if something may be a little off just because it's we're gaining our footing almost, because ultimately we have found ourselves in a point of our lives where we have ultimately allowed ourselves to bring on this new beginning, and it's kind of hitting us unexpectedly in some ways. So it's the kind of situation. Know that if the energy is feeling a little bit different today, it's because you're allowing it to be. All right. So the cards that I pulled first here is the Knight of Pentacles, Three of Cups, and the Lovers, okay? So this here is saying we're making the choice to bring in abundance, we're bringing the choice to bring on prosperity, and we're bringing on the choices to continuously bring on positivity, positive vibes. The Three of Cups is just a card of ultimate, just like, just connections, not just friendship, family, romance. It's just like connections, emotional, where we can ultimately just bring on that happiness, bring on the happiness that comes from these, just relationships we have. You know what I mean? With the Nine of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles is like pulling pentacles off of the pentacle tree, all right? Abundance, abundance, abundance. We are allowing ourselves to enjoy the fruits of our labor. And we're allowing ourselves to do so because we actually made the choice to rise above the choices that we have made in the past to bring on these new beginnings. And these new beginnings are ultimately bringing us to just destinations that we had no idea we'd end up in, guys. It's the kind of situation with the moon. The moon is the card of healing, all right? When it comes down to the moon is all about emotions. It's all about intuition, you know what I mean? So ultimately, when it comes down to it, psychically, if you're feeling a little bit more in tune today, know that's because ultimately we have opened up doors for ourselves to bring on these new visions. You understand what I'm saying? With the King of Cups is the king of his own emotions. So ultimately, he draws in love. All right, he's had his heart broken. He has ultimately, lived through pain, and he has healed. And with that healing, he's just a magnet of love because he understands that love is what makes his world go around. He understands that all he needs is love. All right, love is the most powerful force in the world, and it's the kind of situation with the King of Cups. This is who we've become. We have become a magnet of success. We've become a magnet of abundance. Become a magnet of beautiful relationships that bring on happiness. We've been a magnet bringing on these beautiful romantic connections because the Lovers is a deep, deep, deep romantic connection. It's a connection that doesn't come across often. So if you're single, know that something's happening. If you're in a relationship, know that things are happening that's going to bring it to a deeper level. Ultimately, when it comes down to it, the Lovers is the card of Gemini also, and Geminis are the intellectual thinkers, right? They can think outside the box, and it's the kind of situation I feel as if we're allowing ourselves to get out of our comfort zone, to ultimately allow ourselves to take flight on a journey that we have ultimately been packing for, all right? Yesterday, I pulled the Two of Wands. And the Two of Wands is the card of, packing for a trip, getting everything together. That way, when that ship sails, guys, we're ready to go on that trip. And guys, with the Three of Wands, it's showing today we are going on that trip, okay? Now, when it comes to the King of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, and the Six of Cups, the King of Pentacles is the king of prosperity. So not only do we get the King of Cups, the king of his emotions, and the king of love, we got the King of Pentacles. And the King of Pentacles is that king that ultimately brings on material and financial abundance. All right, he's the guy that follows his instincts, and he ultimately allows himself to draw in prosperity. He doesn't hold himself back because ultimately, when it comes down to it, he knows that the things that he has given up are things that he has given up for a reason. And that reason is to bring on things that are good for him. You know, when you give up the things that aren't good for you, that's when the good things come. You know, now with the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Swords is the card of truth. All right. She says her truth. She is resilient. She ultimately, yes, feels her emotions, but when it comes down to it, she allows herself to think clearly. All right, to think clearly, to rise above any kind of conflict in her head. The Queen of Swords is the card of Aquarius, and us Aquariuses, you know, we rise above social norms. We do not, yeah, we get in our heads, obviously. We're an air sign, but when it comes down to it with the Queen of Swords, she lives by her truth. And that's what we're doing. We are living by our truth. We are allowing ourselves to be honest and truthful with ourselves to ultimately bring in these new chapters. You know, you just, this is who we become. You know, we're not afraid to tackle the things that need to be tackled. We're not afraid to, you know, take those giant steps towards where we know we're meant to be. We're done being afraid. With the Six of Cups, the Six of Cups is that card of nostalgia. So I feel as if this is bringing us back to a kind of love that we had for the world before we were jaded with the hurt, before we were jaded with, you know, like the just heartaches. You know, the Six of Cups also can talk about maybe past life connection coming forward. It's the kind of situation, no, with the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful card because when it comes to relationships, the Six of Cups is bringing back that playful side. You know, allowing yourself to be free, to loosen up a little bit. You know what I mean? With the High Priestess, the Sun, and the Page of Swords. The High Priestess, she is almost like the goddess of the moon, all right? She receives the intuitive messages from the moon and she allows herself to use her intuition to bring on a lot of psychic abilities. So I definitely feel as if today, with the moon, that healing and psychic energy, I feel as if with the High Priestess today, we are going to be very intuitive and know that it's going to be just brilliant because when it comes down to it, the Sun is there, and the Sun is that ultimate card of happiness. The Sun is that if you have a question, the answer is yes card. You know what I mean? It's the kind of situation with the Sun brings on happiness. It brings on that masculine energy to ultimately bring on that drive. Like, it's the card of Leo. So it's the kind of thing to bring on that drive and to bring on a healthy dose of ego, to ultimately bring on what you want, what you need. And the answer is yes. And it's funny because we got the Sun and we got the moon. You know, we got ultimate masculine, ultimate feminine. And it's the kind of situation we have that balance. We're having that balance that'll ultimately have us think brand new things. All right, because we understand that we are in a point of our lives where we are ultimately opening up new doors. And behind those doors lie some beginnings that, you know, we may not be familiar with, but we're not afraid to open those doors because we know what lies behind those doors is everything that we have been looking for and everything we've been searching for and everything that we have been craving, okay? Now, the card at the bottom of the deck is the Page of Cups. And the Page of Cups is the card of When Pigs Fly, you know, like ultimately like what you thought wasn't possible is possible. It could talk about new romantic connections. It could talk about new ways of creativity. So if you're deciding to pick up a paintbrush, you know, now's your time to do so. If you are a writer and you're thinking about beginning a novel, you're picking up that pen and you're writing in that book, or you're taking out that laptop and you're typing that first sentence. It all starts with a single step. And the Page of Cups is the page that has that open heart to allow himself to go on these new beginnings full of things that he might not have thought was possible. The impossible is possible as long as you put your heart and as long as you put your mind to it. And it's the kind of situation with the Page of Cups. Know that with his open heart, we are not holding ourselves back. Know that. All right, so I hope everyone is going to be having a great day. I am going to be talking to everyone soon. Remember, live your best lives with the Three of Cups, the Nine of Pentacles and Lovers. That's quite the way to open up a reading, guys, because it's all about happiness and abundance and love. You know, that's what life is about. You know what I mean? That's what it should be about. And I feel as if with, you know, the moon and the king of cups and the three of wands and the king of pentacles and the queen of swords and the six of cups, the high priestess, the sun, page of swords, we know what we need to do to remain in this kind of just quality of life, you know? So I will be seeing everyone later, and I hope everyone has a great day. Bye, everyone.